Welcome to Interactive Wisdom, conversations that are crafted to help ignite and inspire spiritual growth through community interaction. In this first conversation, we're joined by the Interactive Wisdom Planning Committee, which was formerly known as the San Diego School of Christian Studies. They'll explain the details of this exciting program update and the inspiration for this change.
Hello, my name is Kay Gilbert, and I'm with what used to be known as the San Diego School of Christian Studies. We have some news for you. There's been a name change. Our new name is Interactive Wisdom. We're going to talk about that and why that's come to be and how we think things are going to progress from there.
Hi, I'm Lemby Sarman, and I've long been a member of the San Diego School of Christian Studies. And I had some experiences that made me question the name. And I talked to Kay about it, and we decided that, yeah, it's time to change the name. And I was telling Kay that one of my experiences was I was looking for a speaker on, I think it was on wildfire, taking care of wildfires. And I talked to a woman who I know who's in the state park system and knows people, and I asked her if she knew anybody who might be a speaker for us, and she asked me, what is the organization? And I said, it's the San Diego School of Christian Studies. And she looked at me, and I could see it in her face that it kind of took her aback, and she wasn't really sure about this. And then I realized she's Jewish.
Why would she be interested, or why are you asking her?
Yeah, right. And it didn't seem to fit. And then it never really dawned on me before, because we've had people from all religions at our programs and stuff. But then I realized she's put off by the name of the thing. Mm-hmm. So I told her, okay, don't pay any attention to the name. Don't pay any attention, because what it is we're not really a school. We don't have classes or curricula or anything like that, so we're not really a school. We're not really Christian because we talk about all kinds of religions and also things that are not religious at all, like forest fires and stuff like that. And nobody studies.
Nobody studies.
You know? So then I was telling you about it, and we thought, well, maybe it's time to look at a name change. You know?
Yes.
It's been the School of Christian Studies before I ever joined this church, and it used to be just like book studies or lectures on a particular theological issue or something, but that fell by the wayside a long time ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's caused some confusion and caused some barriers, perhaps.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder how many people don't come to our programs because of that name.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good question. And that's, in fact, why we decided to change it. And we had lots of input about that and came up with Interactive Wisdom. So developers of the school, though, which was those developers of the School of Christian Studies, was probably about 40 years ago or more.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
They had notable topics and a wide range of topics and so forth. The school added members a little bit later, like in the late 20-teens, from our sister church, St. Paul's United Methodist Church, and they've been on the planning council since then and very active members. We have people from a number of backgrounds, some members of the churches and some not. But they all contribute to our planning. After the COVID pandemic, where we were shut down for a while, the school got revitalized. And so for the last 3 seasons, we have had lots of programming, and mostly in lecture format, and some visiting field trips.
Right.
But those things all had multitudes of directionality with regard to spiritual learning. We have had things that involved traditional Christian thought as well as other spiritual learnings from other.
Right.
We've had a number of different. We've had Jewish leaders. We've had Islamic leaders come. We've had people talking about things. One theme was loving your neighbor,
Right.
and then loving your environment. That's where the wildfires came,
Wildfires,
came
yes.
in. And loving your environment. And we've had multiple people from philosophy to ministers to lots of different kinds of people to talk about the
Right.
spirituality of all those important topics.
And when we did Loving Your Neighbor, we did a whole year on that topic, and we had a panel discussion. We had the imam, and we had the rabbi, and we had our pastor talking about what each religion says about loving your neighbor. And guess what? They all say the same thing. You should do it.
Yes, and the school offered wisdom thinking. The school offered a lot of faith traditions. It offered secular perspectives as well.
Right, like the program we did on the water situation in San Diego.
Yeah, the water situation in San Diego was an important one, and it surprised some people, didn't it? You and I were both reared in basically fundamentalist background, Christian traditionalist, very hardcore fundamentalist backgrounds. How was your evolution?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I was brought up in that you have to give your heart to Jesus or you'll go to hell, right, basically. And it was really an adventure for me to open up my thinking and to say, well, maybe that's not the only way. Maybe there's also some good in other religions.
Yeah.
And I'm in my 70s. It's taken me a long time to...
Talking about that, yes, we have had curiosity, we've had wonder, we've gone looking for further explanation, deeper meaning, and expanded ourselves along the way and grow in it. We've refined our spiritual understanding a great deal since those early, very fundamentalist days, so that we could become more inclusive and expansive in our spiritual growth.
Right. I no longer feel the need to go out and convert everybody.
Oh, okay. Well, for all of you who are listening in on our podcast today, we invite you to hear next from Reverend Trudy and Reverend Hannah about today's cultural spiritual shifts. The vision that we have is something that goes along with our rewilding expansion that began in 2023 here at First Church. We want you to listen to Reverend Trudy and Reverend Hannah as they talk about what interactive wisdom is doing to integrate with the rewilding. After our pastors, you'll hear from new leaders coming up soon. In November, we changed leadership for our planning council. Those people will be Lynn Hayes, who's with the St. Paul's United Methodist Church, and with the First Church's own Rick Cook. So we invite you to stay tuned. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Reverend Hannah. I'm here in the studio with Reverend Trudy, and thanks for joining us to share your wisdom for interactive wisdom. This shift in name is more than cosmetic one, and it reflected a deeper movement within this church, a movement we've come to call rewilding. And Reverend Trudy, back in 2023, you introduced the idea of rewilding the church for us. It really caught our imagination, and the whole congregation got involved in it, reading and studying together, in exploring what it meant, and especially as cultural shifts that started before pandemic, but felt even more so significantly after, and called for spiritual and theological reflection. So when did you first notice the change in the air, and how did you help us discern the path forward
Yeah.
for this church.
Yeah. Well, rewilding comes out of the idea of the Pentecost story, right? The Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit was moving and it was wild. And it's time for us to kind of figure out where the Holy Spirit is moving now. That's kind of the theological quest for that. But when I first noticed the need for it, I have to say, throughout my entire ministry, I have seen some shifts occur. And more often than not, they were things about, we used to do it this way, but they weren't working anymore, right? And so it was really during the pandemic that I began to learn more about the cultural shifts and began to understand more deeply about what it meant for us to live in a digital culture and what it meant to have the internet be a part of so much of what we do, right? And some of the things we learned were that inspiration and knowledge, it is not accessible only by a preacher in a sanctuary at a pulpit on a Sunday morning during worship, right?
Very true.
We can find podcasts and sermon videos and music and scripture and poetry and blogs and all sorts of sources of inspiration and knowledge and insight anytime, all over the internet. So that's been a huge major shift. Another, authority has given way to exploration, right? And experience. And discipleship is defined by the journey, not a creed, right? There's just too much evidence of God from other faith traditions with some really beautiful insights and wisdom. Too much for us to limit ourselves to understanding God simply through the words of our creed, right? Additionally, right, the church is no longer the hub of the village, but we are one of many amazing nonprofit organizations that are bringing their services to others. And communities are much more fluid than they used to be. Used to be you bought a home and you lived there your entire life, but people are moving, coming and going, and we do that more freely for pleasure and for work. And belonging isn't assumed to be for a lifetime anymore. We know that our friends are going to change, that our lifestyle is going to move us to different places. And so that means we need to be more welcoming and adaptive to those who show up. And we need to let go of some of our expectations.
Yes.
And be willing to really be surprised by what the Holy Spirit can do in this era of such dynamic change.
Yes. And that moment clearly shaped us in how we maintain
Absolutely.
how we become the church.
That's right.
And how do you see it rippling out of First UMC and our walls, and how might this rewilding spirit approach welcoming diverse voices and learning together mutually and experimenting with things like podcasts or creative use of our space serve as a model for interactive wisdom and any other faith community?
That's right. Well, I think the interesting thing is that we have really tried to start with changing ourselves, with getting the people within the congregation to understand this new world. And as we tried some new and different ministries, then we've discovered that it really it is speaking to the people within the walls of the church, which also then affirms that we're on the right space. We're on the right track. For instance, we have a new 11 o'clock service called Tapestry that allows for curiosity and reflection, both individually and as a community. And our Bible study is now a podcast, right? We have online and in-person discussions led by lay people. And as we know, our beloved School of Christian Studies is now interactive wisdom. All of that is a reflection of these learnings that we've had. And the way it ripples out into the community, I hope it does. I mean, we're seeing people respond to some of the changes. We're welcoming people that are not the people that we were expecting sometimes. And that's been a joy. And I guess the way, in broader terms, the way I hope this is trickling out into the larger community is to be able to encourage people to really begin to understand how significant this moment is. It's a change that has already begun to happen. We've noticed, we've seen that, and it's not done yet. And so the encouragement I hope that we have is to observe and articulate the changes that the culture has embraced. And then ask ourselves if the institutions we love, if they are embracing those same changes, right? If those institutions are able to flow with the movement that we see happening. And then to also ask ourselves, what are the changes that we are resistant to, right?
It has to be painful.
Everybody
but
has that
honest.
boundary.
Yes.
And yes, it will be painful and honest, right? And to try and understand why. And then to ask, maybe, just maybe, there is something good that can be nurtured in those changes, right? So I'm really advocating for a conversation that allows us to be open
Yes.
to what we might learn
Yes.
in this time of chaos
Yes.
and exploration.
Yes, and the time of chaos is good because it's not fixed
That's
or
right.
static. We're experimenting with a lot of different things, so we are open to more changes.
Yep.
So Kay and Lambie showed us how a simple name change could spark something bigger.
Yeah.
And the same rewilding spirit is shaping interactive wisdom as well.
It's so exciting.
And that's where our new leaders come in this fall. And Rick and Lynn are here to share how they're putting this vision into action through podcasts and digital learning and reaching more people than ever before.
That's
And
wonderful.
are you excited?
I am.
Yes.
Take it
Let's-
away, Lynn and Rick, right?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Rick Cook. I'm one of the new co-chairs, as is my friend Lynn Hayes, who is also going to be incoming co-chair. And we're here today to talk about interactive wisdom and why we changed the name.
Again, as he said, my name is Lynn Hayes. I'm from St. Paul's United Methodist Church. And I've been working with the San Diego School of Christian Studies for about 3 years now. And the reason I feel for the change was to help reach out to others, to young people, to older people. I think the podcast is the way to go today. And I think you reach more people that way because you have young people who have families who can't get out the house to come and attend the workshops. And then you have older people who are no longer driving.
That's true.
You also have people who don't feel comfortable being in a large setting, but want to know what's going on outside the front doors and what's happening in the world.
With this new format, we're hoping that we can reach a broader, more diverse community online and create an opportunity for being interactive with our audience and to also engage people and topics, perhaps maybe short series as well as just individual podcasts, and see where it leads us and if we can broaden our horizons with the groups out there.
Even get generations to get together and talk about some of the things that we're sharing.
Right.
You know, that's put the family back into contact again with one another
Exactly.
and find out about their backgrounds. You know, my mom is gone now, my dad's gone. I would love to talk to them to find out more about our background and what was going on, you know, what brought them out here to California and what made my mother join a Methodist church. And, you know, this helps. It opens doors for people. It makes them feel comfortable that they can ask questions and not feel like, oh, that was a dumb question, because there are no dumb questions. And that's what we're looking for, to help people understand one another, be more diverse, find out about their background, get involved in their communities, see why their community is working the way they're working.
And we all work with people of every background and generation. We get to do that here through fellowship at our church, through the many opportunities that are offered here. I had the great opportunity of meeting you and so many people on our Sankofa journey And I'm hoping that we can continue doing that. As I said earlier, having a more diverse and open dialogue with people from every background. And as you've touched base on, intergenerational opportunities that are out there, if we could tap into them and to be able to tell our stories and our faith journeys, and to bring a opportunity to, there's a word I'm looking for right now, and to engage with people on a wide variety of topics, whether it be the current topics or, I don't want to sound too political, but so many things are changing in the world right now where things are being taken away from us, and they're erasing history in front of our eyes, and most of us don't even know where to begin to jump in to help. I don't want to lose what we've just been able to do with like our Sankofa pilgrimage. I don't want to erase history. I want to talk about history. I want to talk about race. I want to talk about inspiring journeys that people are on and get to know some amazing people out there.
Absolutely.
Not just the hot button issues, but to continue to engage and to stand up for what we believe in, and to talk about it and engage with it, and to bring relative information about these things.
Yes. Well, I think I was sitting here thinking about Pastor Craig Brown. He was the one that was very instrumental in getting St. Paul involved with First Church. And I remember one Sunday the pastors decided to switch churches and preach at each other's church.
Wow.
And I just thought that was wonderful. And that was one way of breaking the ice and getting to understand and know there's other people out there, and wow, they pray just like we do. They sing just like we do, So that's real important. And as well as the Sankofa trips, to see how other people felt about enslavement. And I know that a lot of people felt guilty, but there's no reason for them to feel guilty. That was their ancestors. And had they had a podcast like we do, or beginning to have, they would feel better and they would understand. And this is just a way of reaching out to people to let them know we're all the same. We put our pants on one leg at a time. There's nothing different about us.
No.
We just may have different last names, different skin colors, different eye colors, hair types, but we still have the heart and the love and the excitement of finding out about others.
I was excited. I mean, we had the opportunity when we were doing our classroom studies with Reverend Brittany,
Yes.
and some of the information was hard. I know I went home quiet. There's a lot to take in for me. I didn't have that sort of education when I was brought up. I mean, growing up in a small town in New England, there weren't black people. There weren't people of color at all until I reached high school. And then joining the military, I mean, that put a huge perspective, because you're thrown together with about 150 men, and you go through this journey together. But during that journey, you're seeing people and realizing that we're all the same. I mean,
Right.
different areas, different backgrounds. To me, it was exciting. Going back to New England to finish my education, I was grateful that I got to go from a small town to being in a city environment where there were people of color from every ethnic background, all engaging together. It's hard not to say this, and I've said this before to you on the journey. I grew up in a very racist environment with my own family, and the person I am today is not the person I was back then. So my eyes have been open, the light has shined in, and I get to do things differently now. And so meeting you, I didn't have any predetermined thoughts. There was a huge hope in me. Reverend Brittany has opened our eyes and filled us with so many amazing and eye-opening experiences through the videos, through the conversations, that even at my current age, it's never too late to learn. And I'm thinking about the Sankova symbol right now. It's never too late to go back and get that which you have left behind. I think about that nearly every day. So,
But you'd be surprised that I didn't know a lot of my history. And being on the trip, I learned a lot of things. Because when people go through hard times, they don't talk about your ancestors. They do not talk about what they went through and share it with you.
oh, it's like a big
So
dark
that-
secret.
Right. And I think sometimes that's why history continues to repeat itself. But we hope with this interactive wisdom program we're doing now, we will touch so many people, and people will want to hear what we're saying and want to be a part of it. And maybe they would want to join us and talk about their struggles
Yeah.
and what they're battling with. And we'll be here for them through the eyes of God to show them that we care and that we're all the same and it's going to be all right no matter what.
We are brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
I'm glad we're on this journey together.
Yes.
We are coming up with a lot of creative topics and ideas to
Yes.
start looking for what it will be like on this journey with the podcast.
So we invite everyone to join us on the podcast with a watch party or a listening circle. Just hear us, come see us, and join us. And give us something that if you're not hearing what you think we should be saying, send us topics. We'd love to talk about it and involve everyone we possibly can. So you can visit the FUMCSD.org/wisdom, where you can sign up and get emails and get details on upcoming contents and events, and contact us directly to ask questions or provide feedback. And we're very big on feedback. We need to know. We want to make sure we're reaching out and touching our listeners.
Interactive Wisdom relies on donations. If you enjoyed this conversation and would like to hear future ones, please visit FUMCSD.org/interactive-wisdom to donate today.
Interactive Wisdom is a collaboration between First United Methodist Church and St. Paul's United Methodist Church of San Diego. To learn more about the program and access upcoming event information, please visit FUMCSD.org/wisdom.